What is gluten?
Gluten is a protein found in wheat. Whether gluten is evil or not evil depends on how your body reacts to it.
What's the difference between gluten sensitivity, intolerance, and celiac disease?
Gluten allergy, if you have it, your ears and nose and face and everything will puff up, you will have difficulty breathing, and it can even lead you to an anaphylactic shock.
Can going off gluten help people with diabetes to lower their blood sugar levels? I have also heard that gluten is heavier to digest. Is that true? Gluten-free diets are trending right now all over social media. So are gluten-free diets really helpful in losing weight?
Wow, okay. So
You would have probably heard people say, I'm off gluten is bad for you. But is it really bad for you? Should everyone avoid gluten, or is it just an overhyped food villain? Let's break it down today with Amita ma'am. So my first question to you is, what is gluten?
gluten is a protein found in wheat and wheat products,
Okay.
obviously. So some people are sensitive to gluten, wherein if they have gluten, then they are going to see some digestive issues like bloating. Another thing that could happen is sometimes you might even get diarrhea. You might have trouble digesting it, like tummy aches and everything. In an extreme case, if you have celiac disease, then it's going to cause you like a massive flare up. So, for people with celiac disease or a frank gluten intolerance, they definitely have to avoid it.
Okay.
But for others, whether gluten is evil or not evil depends on how your body reacts to it.
What's the difference between gluten sensitivity, intolerance, and celiac disease?
Sensitivity is a vague or more colloquial term used for someone who has a mild intolerance. Okay. Gluten intolerance is something where people know that if they have more than, say, 2 chapatis in a day, or where they can have whole wheat chapatis, but if they have maida or refined wheat flour products like any bakery products, then they are going to face trouble digesting it. So that is your gluten intolerance. And gluten allergy is one where if you have it, you're going to get all of the standard allergic responses, like your ears and nose and face and everything will puff up, you will have difficulty breathing, and it can even lead you to an anaphylactic shock, which is like a very severe situation which can arise out of any allergy for that matter.
Okay.
So if you're allergic to gluten, you definitely need to be very, very careful to completely avoid it. It is not a risk to be taken lightly. It is not something to just gloss over or be like, it's okay, it's just an allergy. No, it's not just an allergy. It can be truly fatal. If you are intolerant to gluten, then you may get away with eating, say, once in a while a sandwich outside, but if your life depends on sandwiches and naans and everything, or pizzas and pastas which are largely made from refined wheat flour, then you could be in trouble. The cost that you would pay for it would be a fair bit of indigestion.
Okay.
And it could even cause you diarrhea. That is the other thing that can happen. If you are sensitive to it, then barring some digestive discomfort, you are generally safe. So you could be a little free with your gluten intake.
Okay. So how do I know that I am allergic or sensitive to gluten? Are there any tests to do?
If you do any blood test, so for an allergy, of course, you have a proper blood test where you can check your IgE levels.
Okay.
But for intolerance, these tests are not truly useful because they tell you how your body or your blood is reacting to the gluten at that particular point of time. So a better way of understanding intolerance is going to be being more observant and being more mindful as to what your body is telling you in terms of the symptoms.
Okay. So gluten-free diets are trending right now all over social media. So are gluten-free diets really helpful in losing weight?
So gluten unnecessarily gets a very bad rep in the dieting circles. because people find that if they move to a gluten-free diet, they lose weight. Now, why is that happening? That's happening simply because wheat by itself or wheat products form a very large component of the urban diet as we see today. So when you say that you now I'm gluten free to lose weight, what are you doing essentially? You are going to stop your chapati, you're going to stop the bread that you were eating, you're going to stop the cookies and biscuits, the pasta, and pizza, and noodles,
All the junk food.
everything goes
Yes.
off, right? Now when that is happening, even the sev puri,
Yeah.
you know, as in the pani puri puri,
Yeah.
so chaat, everything gets
Vada
eliminated, vada pav, chola bhatura, everything is wheat and maida for that matter.
Yes.
So when you eliminate so much food from your diet, you are inadvertently going to end up eating none of those things, and you will have to eat something else. Now, because all of these food products are also very high in calories, avoiding them means, and especially if you are someone who loves your chole bhature and you know your pizzas and pastas, then you're not going to eat those things, and by default you will end up being in a calorie deficit. Because of which you would lose weight. But do you need to stop eating gluten to lose weight? The answer to that is no. You can very well achieve weight loss even while you are eating your regular chapatis or having an occasional sourdough toast or something. You very well can do that. It's because weight loss, end of the day, it's a calorie math. It's about whether you are in a calorie deficit or not. So just by virtue of being on a gluten-free diet, you don't necessarily end up losing any weight. But the other thing that happens with a lot of gluten-free diet, say enthusiasts, is that they replace the gluten or the wheat with millets.
Yes, my
Right?
next question was the same. What to eat if you are gluten free?
Yeah, but let me explain that first in the weight loss context, okay? So when you are on a gluten-free diet, then you are going to end up eating millets because
Yes.
now you can't eat gluten, and millets don't have any gluten,
Okay.
rice doesn't have any gluten, right? But people fail to understand in the weight loss context that the amount of carbs that you have in wheat compared with millets is pretty similar.
Okay.
Okay, so from an energy point of view or from a calorie point of view, you are not really changing anything by eating millets as compared to your wheat roti. But and you can actually still gain weight even, or you can not drop even a single kg even after you have been on a gluten-free diet if your calories are still exceeding what you actually need.
Okay. Then, other than millets, what can people have? Is sourdough okay to have if people are gluten free?
So sourdough is not okay to have if you're gluten free or if you need to avoid gluten for some specific reason like celiac disease, because sourdough is also going to have gluten. But you can opt for millets which are gluten free. Buckwheat is a great option for you. You have barley, you have oats, your rice.
Yes.
Rice is gluten free, so you can even have amaranth, you can have quinoa, or you have a lot of options if you are gluten free. So we often find in the clinic when we have patients of celiac disease, when we tell them that you can't eat anything with gluten ever, and then they start thinking that, oh my god, so what am I going to eat now? You have more options rather
Yes.
when you are not eating gluten, because you're now becoming more creative with the way you are including whole grains in your diet. So there are options, plenty of options.
People with gluten intolerance, do they face constipation or diarrhea?
Oh wow, great question. People with gluten intolerance could face either constipation or diarrhea or none, and could just be extremely bloated as well, you know. So the symptoms vary from person to person. If you are sensitive or even intolerant to gluten, you could even have say just constant flatulence with it, you know.
Okay.
So it's not really a you can't predict, as in with gluten, whether you're going to have, if you're not able to digest it, whether it's going to put you in the constipation side or the diarrhea side. But there will be some or the other kind of digestive trouble, is for sure, if you are sensitive to it or intolerant to it, not otherwise. Most of us are brought up on eating whole wheat chapati at home, and we don't face any problem. But we might find that if we are eating, say, chana bhatura outside, or you're eating pizza, or you know,
Pasta.
say pasta or something, then you're going to find that you're constipated the next day, right? So Some people might also find that they actually get diarrhea as well. So it could be anything.
Okay. So can people develop this gluten intolerance or sensitivity later in their life?
It's not like lactose intolerance. Gluten
Okay.
intolerance is not because of a deficiency to a certain digestive enzyme, but it can happen if you've been on a gluten-free diet for a long time for whatever reasons,
Okay.
and then you start eating gluten after a point of time. You might have made yourself intolerant to gluten now. So that can happen. If I've been avoiding gluten for say a good 4 or 5 years, and then I start go and have say a very nice pizza, then I could suddenly find myself bloating up and being in general extreme discomfort. That is possible.
Okay. Can going off gluten help people with diabetes to lower their blood sugar levels?
Okay, so the same logic as weight loss applies here as well. Okay,
Okay.
when you are avoiding gluten, you are avoiding the standard culprits in your diet, which are going to cause you to not be able to manage your blood sugars, or which are going to give you a blood glucose spike. So by eliminating gluten, what you're doing is you're stopping the biscuits, you're stopping the cookies, you're stopping everything, right?
Yes.
That way it can help. But
Okay.
again, you can drop your blood glucose levels, or you can control and manage your diabetes even while you are eating your good old chapatis. You don't have to stop eating that. It's also oftentimes, I find, in my personal opinion, that it's a bit of a cop out when people, or in the wellness industry, you will find people just putting all the patients of diabetes off
Yes.
wheat, or they switch them to emmer
Millets.
wheat or kapli wheat, which is supposed to be lower in gluten. But end of the day, the carb load in that remains the same. So the carb load in your millets versus carb load in your wheat is similar. So because that is a factor for diabetes, then it truly is not changing anything. But what it does change is the fat. Okay, so the
Okay.
amount of ghee that I could have put on a roti or a paratha versus what I'm going to put on a millet roti, hopefully is going to be lower, and not more than what I would put on wheat. That could be one of the factors, but it's a myth. In our clinic, we manage diabetes, hypothyroidism, PCOS for so many people worldwide without ever asking them to go off gluten. So that can be done. But as a professional, people often use the shortcut of just eliminating that whole range of wheat products, because it makes their job easier than teaching the patient or your client how to manage portion control, or how to manage your will, for that matter.
The other day on Instagram, I saw a reel which claimed going off gluten is helpful to regulate women's hormones or is beneficial for menopausal women. Is it true?
See, you can't externally balance your hormones, okay? It's a big scam, it's a big myth. And gluten, poor thing, is not doing really anything, provided you are not allergic to it, provided you are able to digest it. So, there isn't any real correlation in terms of hormonal imbalances and gluten.
Okay.
And the same is true for menopause, for PCOS, for, I saw the other day, I saw a reel it said that you need to stop eating gluten to manage your cortisol levels.
Yes.
Now that cortisol being the next buzzword. So no, you don't need to do any such thing. But remember that if you are someone who tends to eat a lot of wheat products and tends to overeat or not be able to manage their portions in terms of say the sheer calories and the fat load that you are eating in your diet, then that is going to be a problematic situation for you when you are trying to manage your health overall. And where your hormones are concerned, please, gluten has not done anything to them, so you can just let them be. But do exercise, eat well, make sure that your entire caloric load or even the carb load is optimal and you're not exceeding it, because it's very easy to exceed your carb load when you are eating wheat.
Yes.
When you are, that one slice can very quickly become 4 slices without you realizing, and that is where the problem lies. So
Okay. So one of my friends, she is gluten intolerant, but she can very well eat chapati. She can digest chapati, but she cannot digest bread. Why it's so?
okay, so here's the thing with chapati and bread. Okay, when we are making chapati at home, we are not adding any extra gluten to it, but the bread that we get in the market is like so soft, super spongy, right? That is because they add bread improvers to it. What are bread improvers? They have extra gluten, vital wheat gluten.
Okay.
Gluten is the protein which makes the chapatis and the bread soft. It is what gives wheat its stretchy quality.
Okay.
And by adding extra vital wheat gluten to the bread, they end up making it like super soft that people like. Now that extra gluten is what people who are intolerant to gluten can't handle.
Oh.
Which is why your friend is able to eat chapati without any trouble, but when she eats bread, she faces problems.
But then with everyone with gluten intolerance can eat chapati, or are there any exceptions?
Most people with gluten intolerance will be able to eat a whole wheat chapati,
Okay.
provided they are not, eating too many, or it's not, their diet is not full of, say, 5 parathas for breakfast. So in that situation, there's going to be other problems along with gluten intolerance.
Yes.
But by and large, people can digest whole wheat better than your commercially available bread or refined wheat flour, because even when we look at refined wheat flour or maida, you will find that because the fiber is removed from it, suddenly now the gluten concentration increases, and then which is why people can't handle maida but they can eat whole wheat atta.
Okay. I have also heard that gluten is heavier to digest. Is that true?
No, not really. Gluten, so the whole heavy to digest concept is coming from how people sometimes find it difficult to digest. So if you're someone who gets bloating from gluten, then you are going to come back and say that, gluten is heavier to digest. But if you are able to digest it well, then it's not going to be heavy for you. So it's a very subjective thing. You can't generalize that.
Okay. So gluten is not a food villain.
No, not at all. So I hope this answered all of your questions about gluten. If we missed out on anything, let us know in the comments and we will try to answer them in the next video maybe, or maybe just in the comments. And of course, you do want to share this with all of your gluten-free friends, and also to those who are considering getting on a gluten-free diet, because this is where they are going to be able to find the facts against the fiction that surrounds all of us. I'm hoping that you liked this episode and that you are going to share this with everyone. And of course, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. See you soon on the next Ask Amita episode.